I understand that phone calls are being made, back channeling is going on, and the Rangers regime are currently speaking to, sounding out potential alternatives should they decide that they can no longer back Russell Martin. It sounds to me very much as if they're looking to put something in place if, in a worst case scenario for them, they're bumped into taking action this weekend when Rangers play Hibs in the quarterfinals of the League Cup. I suppose they've got to be doing this. It shouldn't come as any major surprise, but at the same time, it really underlines the sort of perilous nature of Russell Martin's position right now.
Aye, of course it does. But I mean, after Saturday, if you'd have been in that press conference room on Saturday after the Hearts game, like me, you'd probably be amazed that Russell Martin's still in post.
Well, I don't think I need to be in the room to come to that conclusion.
But that doesn't surprise me. And see, to be honest, Jacko, I mean, Kevin Thelwell wouldn't be doing his job properly if he's not got an idea of who the next...
Well, that wouldn't come as any great surprise.
Well, look, that's the role. I mean, if you're going to have a sporting director, a massive part of that job is knowing, even when you've got a manager who's in and is doing well and is successful, it's your job to see round corners and know who the next manager's going to be. So he should have been doing that anyway. No, but especially the way the season started, that doesn't... It
actually does seem quite late in the day to start sounding people out. But that's really no surprise. I've not had the chance to speak since before Rangers managed to make their problems even more difficult with the 2-0 defeat at home at Hearts. And you were there for that, so talk to me about the mood, talk to me about what you think happens and how Rangers get out of this.
Oh, look, in terms of the mood, it's as bad as I can remember it. I mean, listen, that game on Saturday, I don't think I've ever heard that level of abuse, that kind of real poisonous abuse towards any Rangers manager in my lifetime. And
it was directed almost 100% at him. It wasn't so much the players. Is that right, or is that not true?
100%. I mean, listen, there was the usual kind of jeer, or kind of groans for the crowd with a misplaced pass, or obviously when the two Hearts goals went in. But no, it was directed specifically at Martin. I mean, when the players came out at half time, they were cheered onto the pitch, but then Martin obviously comes out after them in the dugout, and there's this kind of chorus of boos. I mean, it was so pointed, honestly, so loud. You're thinking, poor Rangers man like Kashinya, for instance, he never get anywhere near that level of abuse. I don't think, if my memory serves me right, this is like, it's as vociferous as I can ever remember it towards one guy. And on a personal level, obviously, you kind of feel for Russell Martin in that sense, but after the game...
He's not helped himself.
No, he's not.
I thought he was dead prickly in the press conference after the game when he needed to be shown a bit of contrition and, trying to explain his part and take responsibility. And I read you wrote a column today I read, it was very good, calling for people in that football club to start taking a bit of accountability.
100%.
Russell Martin washed his hands out, blamed it all on the players, their mentality, their scare. I mean, I couldn't believe he used the word scared.
I know. He just had to come out and say on Saturday, look, results are unacceptable, and it's on me. That's what he had to say. I think Andy did a piece in the paper the day with Greg Stewart talking about how Steven Gerrard would always come out after a bad performance and say, look, this is on me. It's not the players. This is all on.
But then kind of was the players. He'd leave a wee caveat, but he just didn't. Really.
But he wasn't. Gerrard wasn't scared to kind of speak up and take it on his shoulders, and I think that's what Martin's been lacking a wee bit. But as I've said in that piece, it's not just Russell Martin. I think in terms of accountability, there's several kind of people, within that club. Patrick Stewart, arguably being the main one who
has
to speak up.
I want to speak to you about that because I read your piece again. Look, we may be coming at this from different, maybe we've got our wires crossed. My understanding, Scott, throughout the recruitment process, which ended with the appointment of Russell Martin, was that Greta Steinson and Kevin Thelwell were entirely responsible for it, and that Patrick Stewart was pretty much cut out the decision-making. Look, in fact, and I think I've said previously, if push came to shove, I'm not sure that would have been his choice Anyway, I think he preferred one of the other candidates in the process. At least one of the other candidates.
But even if that's the case, he's still the CEO. He's still signing off on that appointment. You know
But
what I mean? You
but
might be
I
right.
do believe that what the process, the whole process, and this is part of the blue sky thinking, the how to run a football club. You've got a chief executive, and he delegates. The chief executive delegates the decision of how the football department runs
to the sporting director.
to the sporting director. The chief executive, his umbrella is more about the company, the finances. He's got to supply the money for the sporting director to then go out and finance if it's that manager, that player. That was my understanding of the process. Do you think I'm wrong? Because I've noticed a lot of fans out there saying the exact same thing, that Patrick Stewart has to take responsibility. But if he wasn't involved in the process on a deliberate basis,
But
how can he be the fall guy for it?
because he's still the CEO of the company. He's running the club on a day-to-day basis. Now, I think Patrick Stewart maybe for what you're saying, I think Patrick Stewart maybe had a wee bit more to do with it, but I accept your point that Steinson and Thelwell would have been in charge of that kind of recruitment process. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that we're 5 games in, the club hasn't won a league game yet, they're 10th in the league. The 13 players that they've brought in, very few of them are looking capable. Patrick Stewart's the guy that's running the club day to day. As I've said in the piece, he's the guy that's basically asking punters to forget what they're watching at the moment, but go and pay nearly 200 quid for a Europa League package. So he has to come out and explain, whether it was his appointment or not, he has to come out and explain to fans what's happening. What he said at the Russell Martin unveiling when I was there, that Martin was the outstanding candidate.
He did.
Right, when others were mentioned, obviously your Ancelottis and people like that. So he has to come out and say why he was the outstanding candidate and give his views on why it hasn't happened so far, why there's no signs of progress at all under Russell Martin, and if the board are continuing to back him, explain to fans why Patrick Stewart thinks he's going to turn it around.